Okay, I'm so excited to be sitting down with Jessica Foote, the broker, owner, and CEO of Native Real Estate, my own broker, who I just adore to pieces and obviously look up to and have so much respect for. So I'm so excited to sit down with you and discuss all things real estate.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Maybe you should say welcome to me because we actually are in your office. So. But yes, I'm excited to sit down with you. So we wanted to discuss all things real estate, just really break down, not only just share a little bit more about what Native as a brokerage is all about, how Native is so different, kind of the story behind it, and then we'll also jump into just real estate in general. So
that sounds great.
Let's start there. Why don't you share a little bit just about yourself and then the start to Native and how it came about?
You bet. So I have been a licensed agent for 15 years, and I just had my anniversary and became a real estate broker in 2020. And I have had the incredible fortune of working for some of the top managers and brokers in California. And I'm just so grateful for that. And so that's been really foundational for me. Like I worked for like Mary Lee Blaylock from Berkshire Hathaway, and Dean Stalter, who's now the broker of record, was my very first manager, and just some incredible people, right?
Yeah, you've been under good mentorship and good
really
leadership.
Good mentorship, which I value. So it's been a really cool 15 years. When the pandemic hit, though, a lot changed, and it was time to do real estate in a different way. There were a lot of like iBuyer programs and just really strange things happening. And at the same time, people started to realize that home was the most important thing.
Yeah, it got wild during that time.
It did. We were all shut into our homes.
Exactly. And all of a sudden they're like, wait, we really don't like our home that much. Let's move.
Exactly.
We need more space.
Exactly. And so that was the time when we decided to exit Compass and become our own brokerage, Native. And it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah. And what was that leap like? Because you are so entrepreneurial and self-motivated. You dominate. So was that a scary leap for you, or was it just a natural progression? Like, I'm opening my own brokerage.
No, it was actually frightening. It was very exciting. I felt called to do it. In fact, the name Native came to me when I was praying in my car about how to change the industry. So it definitely was a God thing. But no, I actually was frightened to leave Compass. In fact, they did not want me to leave. And it definitely felt like a Red Sea moment for me. Like I literally felt like God parted the waters and was like, okay, go.
Yes. Go now. And you're like,
so that's what we did.
Yes.
And so it's been a great journey.
Well, that's so good for you to be so obedient, because that can be so scary, and you kind of want that extra confirmation that you are doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And then just kind of stepping out in faith and that obedience. So, and now we're here. So it all worked out.
Yes,
so thank goodness you did.
Yes.
And then a little backstory too. I mean, we've known each other, 7, 8, 9 years now from the more of the San Diego real estate market. And then when I decided to get my license and come on board, you were obviously the first person that popped in my mind. So again, clearly you were doing something very right. I just always had so much respect, like I mentioned, for you, and just the kind of the level of expectations and standard you set for yourself and your clients was very prevalent and very obvious. And so I was naturally drawn to that. And it's so good to see now, even being on this side of things, like just that level and standard that you set is there. And it's just so great to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It matters, right?
It does. And I know we wanted to touch on core values because, again, that's one of the things that I was drawn to as well, just having that strong sense of core values. And that's very important to us here at Native. So can you talk to us a little bit about the core values that we do have here at Native?
Yes, absolutely. So we actually have internal core values and external core values. So we have some that are somewhat secret that we have internally, but externally, we've really focused on being excellent, having integrity, and providing incredible service. Yes. That is what matters to us. And those are the values that I've held personally as an agent since the beginning. And it's worked very well. Yes. People respond great to it. So.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that should be kind of common sense.
Yes.
You would think, you know, across any industry, you know, real estate to the side, but across any industry. But I think it's so important to have those standards of excellence, not only for ourselves and for our clients as well, because it really, honestly, just setting that bar for ourselves really sets us apart naturally, because that isn't always the case, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
Across the industry. So it's nice to have that level set for us.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
So what else sets Native apart? What do you think sets us apart from other brokerages in the area?
Absolutely. So I'll share a couple of our hidden core values.
Yes.
One of them that is really special is joy. And that is something that people experience when they work with a Native agent. We're all very joyful. The people who come and work here that are not joyful, they don't last. You have to have joy. And it's not only about being happy, it's about having that source of joy that we have. And there is a difference.
Absolutely.
And so that's one core value that we have internally that makes a difference, and our clients feel it and other agents feel it.
I was going to say, people can feel that. We get so many comments about that. And it's a joy that comes from the inside out. It's like you can't fake it. It's just it's your soul, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and clients can see that and feel that, and it attracts the right clients.
Absolutely.
The right clients come to us based on what we put out. So
exactly.
It all works out.
Yeah. And then a couple others that totally matter that set us apart. One is innovation. We are constantly, and I mean constantly, changing what we're doing. We're advancing our technology that we offer. We're improving on our systems. There's times also when the markets change where we streamline because that's, you have to focus, right? And so we're constantly innovating as to how we do things and the technology and software that we use.
Yes.
So
that's another thing you're really good about. Speaking on technology is just, you're always on top of the best, newest thing coming out, getting creative about what softwares and systems we have in place, in the behind the scenes, and even forward facing to clients as well. But having those systems in place really help streamline our process and really does make the difference. Everything just stays so organized. And it's fun to stay on top of the new exciting things coming out.
It is fun. Actually, one little fun fact that I don't know that I've ever told people.
Yes.
I was the first real estate agent that had Google Glass.
Oh.
So when those little nerdy glasses came out where you could stream stuff, I was the first one.
What did you think?
I loved it. They ended up, doing away with that technology, but it was very similar to the new Apple VR glasses, but it was super streamlined.
Ooh.
People couldn't even tell that you had them on.
So why did they do away with them? I didn't realize that.
I don't know. I think it was advanced for the time.
Yeah.
I don't think we were ready for it. Just generally in the market, but I just love nerdy stuff like that.
No, I love
too.
that. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have sleek, cool looking glasses than those huge VR.
Right. Yeah.
That's just not sexy. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yeah, so that's innovation is super important to us. And then I would say the other piece that's really a big deal here is we're very responsive. We have two brokers here, Rianne Mosley and myself, and we respond very quickly to our agents. We try to always pick up the phone if we can, and if not, we respond immediately. And then our clients also, they pretty much have us.
Yeah.
At their beck and call.
We can testify to that. So we're sitting down to record this session, and we're both, our phones are, just nature of what we do, right? It's real estate, and we always pick up the phone.
Exactly.
The only exception to that is if you're already on the other line, right? And then you call them right back. So
right. We try.
Absolutely. Communication's number one. And again, it's sad that, that's not always just the case. But for us, we're always quick to communicate. And even on the agent side, as you mentioned, any question I have at a moment's notice, you and Rianne are so good with being so responsive and so on it.
Thank you.
And that goes really far because we all know it's, a lot of what we do is time sensitive.
It is.
And so having that promptness, it could make or break a deal.
Absolutely.
So, I appreciate it very much.
You bet.
Another thing that stands out at Native is the branding and marketing. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So marketing is super important to me. In fact, I was a marketer before I became a real estate agent and broker. I worked at Hewlett Packard in marketing, and I have an MBA too. And so, running a company and building a brand is super important. So we've spent a lot of time and attention into building the Native brand and our look and all of our assets. And it's just we've invested a lot of time and money and attention into it because we want to make sure that we're projecting ourselves and our agents properly and the homes that we're representing, right? So we're really big on very modern design, on incredible photography and videography. It's very important to us. And then also software is important too. We just rolled out an elegant software for designing, marketing, and we're really proud of it.
Yes.
So,
oh, absolutely. Well, again, you can tell because you have to be so intentional about that. It doesn't just happen, you know. And actually, fun fact, didn't it? The Chick-fil-A, can I say this?
Yeah.
Is it the same marketing team as Chick-fil-A?
So the son, so the agency that designed our initial like rollout when we launched Native, the owner of that company and the person who oversaw that whole campaign for us, he's the son of the guy who does the Chick-fil-A marketing.
I love that.
So he was trained really well, and I feel like it's blessed.
Oh, absolutely. So, well, again, it shows because I may be biased, but I think our marketing is just the best.
Thank you.
The best. I get so many comments about it, you know, from my clients, and it shows. It makes a difference. So speaking to that, what do you think is important for people to consider when hiring an agent, whether it's a buyer or a seller?
So there's a few things. Number one, above everything else, is proof of success. So many times sellers want somebody that's convenient. Maybe they're right next door, or it's someone that their brother used, or it is their brother. And what's most important to me, and what I think it should be to a buyer or seller, is, especially in this market, right, is has this person successfully done this before? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same neighborhood. It's just, do they have the skills and the proof of success to get it done?
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. And then when you hire that person that does have that, you have to trust them.
Yes.
And listen to what they say.
Yes.
And if you don't, you're not going to be successful. So that to me is like the biggest thing of all. And then obviously you want to have someone that has integrity. There are a lot of people that don't have integrity, and you want someone that you can trust.
Exactly.
And they might have a different personality than you, right? So recently I had a client, and he and I could not have been more polar opposite. And his home did not get sold. And the reason why it didn't get sold is he was more concerned about how he felt than doing the right thing and doing what I was recommending. And that's the thing. You have to hire someone that knows what they're doing, and then you have to trust them to do their job.
It's so important. I feel like we need to talk about that more. Just you're hiring someone to do their job who does this professionally.
Right.
So trust them, lean on them. You hired them for a reason. So I think it's so important, again, either for buyers or sellers, to really lean into the process.
Yes.
Because I have seen when I typically see it more on the buyer side, just when they seem to kind of want almost to rush the process, and they're not leaning in and trusting the process and trusting each of the professionals that are involved in the transaction. It messes things up and muddies the water.
It is.
And just makes things more confusing. But I think it's very important to not only trust the agent that you have hired to represent you, but to trust the process.
Absolutely. And to speak well about the process, right? So this particular client kept saying, like, I don't think this is going to happen. You know, he was speaking out very negatively, and our words have power.
Exactly.
Right? So you just have to really trust the process, trust your agent, and speak positively.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes a difference.
Absolutely. I was just speaking to some clients about that today, honestly saying how grateful I was that how flexible and patient and having a positive mindset, because it ultimately makes such the difference.
It does.
Because no matter what, I know we were just speaking to this as well, real estate can be a roller coaster. We all know that.
Yes.
Very much so. And for the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, it's an emotional roller coaster. And so I think just having that positive mindset and kind of knowing ahead of time, like, okay, this is going to be a wild ride. You know, there will be some ups and downs and some curveballs, and that's okay. That's the nature of what we do. And so just having that flexible and positive mindset can really make or break
the whole experience.
The whole experience for everyone.
And their success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I love that. Anything specific for buyers agents? I know we talked about a little bit of both sides, but is there anything specific if someone is looking to work with someone on their purchase? It could be their very first purchase. Maybe, you know, they've purchased multiple homes in their lifetime. Is there anything you would kind of suggest to them during that process?
Yes. So with buyer's agents, in most of the markets now, we're still experiencing multiple offers throughout California. And we're finding that it's really important for you to have a buyer's agent who knows their contracts like back of their hand.
Yes.
You know, I've written thousands and thousands and thousands of contracts over the years, right? I could write an offer at a stoplight, seriously.
Yes.
And so that's the type of buyer's agent you would want, somebody that can quickly execute a contract perfectly for you without error, and that knows how to use the contract to get you what you want and get the seller what they want and, you know, kind of make it happen for you, right? And there's an art to that, and people don't realize that.
There is. And so when people think they can just buy or sell themselves, I'm like, good luck. Like, there is so much. It's not just, that's cute. That's cute. Like, there's a reason, you know, just like anything else, there's a reason like we are professionals in what we do, because there's so much. And I heard someone say the other day, it was probably, you know, an Instagram reel, but it was someone in the real estate industry saying how one of their clients said, oh, you know, I've bought and sold a home before. Like, it was no big deal, you know, and it's like, oh, well, you probably had a great agent that actually just shielded you from a lot of the things that are happening behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Because that's true, right? I mean, any good agent they're hustling, they're handling things behind the scenes that don't even have to, you know, come to light, right?
Exactly.
So if you had a smooth escrow, that's great and that's amazing, right? But that's not always the case. But it's also probably kudos to your agent. You probably had a good one.
Absolutely. And actually, the easier it is, the more you should pay.
Yeah.
They're worth more.
Yeah.
You didn't have a headache or any financial nightmares.
You don't want to have to go through the process of having a bad agent to realize what a good agent is.
Exactly.
So,
and how much they save you.
Exactly. That's the other part too. You know, I had someone say recently, you know, people always talk about real estate commissions and everything, but it's like, it might seem like a lot at the beginning when you see the percentage, but what you're really doing is actually saving so much money, because a bad agent will just cost you. They'll leave money on the table. It'll just cost you more money.
Yes. I actually had some past clients recently who walked into an open house with a competing brokerage. They ended up using that brokerage, and then they got in major legal trouble. And they called me and they were like, I can't believe we didn't call you. I don't know what we were thinking. We just got like duped basically and went for it. And it was just easy because it was one of those app brokerages. And they got stuck in a lawsuit.
Exactly.
And there were all of these issues with the house, and they regretted it. So it is really important to not go with what's necessarily easy, but go with the right people that you know are going to take care of you.
Absolutely.
No matter what. The people that are spending 10,000 plus hours, you know.
Exactly.
Perfecting their craft.
Oh, absolutely. And we all know quality. I mean, in anything in life. So that pertains to real estate as well.
Absolutely.
But you touched on how well we know contracts. And I love that you and Rianne are so good about educating us as agents to always be so on top of our contracts. And just, it goes so far. And to have that type of mentorship and training is phenomenal. And I don't think enough brokerages put an emphasis on that. I mean, I could be wrong, but the contracts that I see come over on my listings sometimes.
Yes. They could use a little work.
Yeah, they could just use a little work. Yes. So it's really good and important to point that out as well, to not only know the contracts, but then how to use them. So
absolutely.
I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah.
And then anything specific to the selling side, anything specific that if you're looking to sell your home, anything that they should be asking for, type of questions they should be asking an agent when hiring.
So again, proof of success. How many homes have you sold in the last 12 months? You know, how has the result been? You know, what price did you get compared to when you listed? Tell me about your marketing plan.
Yes.
How do you plan on finding buyers for my home? And how did you develop that marketing plan? Like our marketing plan is built off of the National Association of Realtors, like massive study that they do every year, because we found that data-driven marketing, it works really well.
It does.
The National Association puts in a ton of money behind this survey, and they make sure that they find out how buyers find homes. And so we're really focused on making sure that our marketing and the resources that we have for our agents and that we use for our listings, that it matches that.
Call to action. Where can people find out a little bit more about Native?
Yeah. So our website is pretty rich. It's native.us, like United States.
Yes.
We're also on YouTube, and we've got some great content on there, Native Real Estate. And we love Instagram too. We're pretty active on stories and our posts, and that's another good place to find us. It's native_real estate.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Yeah. And everyone else knows they can find me on Instagram. That's where I hang out the most.
Me too.
Yes.
Honestly.
Absolutely. So Marissa_Tuer, because that's where I hang out. Catch me in stories, all that good stuff. And then, of course, YouTube, where we're at now. So YouTube has been a fun adventure lately. It's been fun to focus a little bit on that. I think I'm able to provide a little bit more value on there. It does take a little bit more intention, planning ahead of time, but it's been a great place to connect with people and, again, really bring a little bit of education, bring a little bit of, neighborhood highlights, bring a little bit of just extra value that I feel is needed, especially in our industry. So that's been a fun place. So anyways, I digress.
You've been doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Fun journey. Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It was fun. Take care.